Forsberg follows up, runs into Messier. Out to the line now, unable to hold it in was Konstantinov. Konstantinov backhands it. Puts on net, Matissa just saw that hit coming at the last second from Forsberg. And this is going to be an icing call against Detroit on the touch-up. So a 1-0 lead still on the early first period goal from Kozlov. Welcome back. National Hockey Night's continuing exclusive coverage of the Stanley Cup Conference Finals here in Detroit tonight. We'll be in New York for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night, and they have just been rocking here at the Joe Louis Arena. Hockey Town, USA, they call it. Waiting a year for this rematch. Red Wings with a slight edge. Shots on goal here in period 2 as Waugh has made a couple of dandy saves. Keep his team within one. Another icing call here on this 4-skater-aside situation.
Well, Patrick Waugh's holding the fort and now in the second. Mike Vernon certainly did that and more in the first period. Let's go back and take a look at some of the great saves that Mike Vernon made to maintain this 1-0 lead. The puck bounced in front after it hit the boards, and he makes a great save on Deadmarsh. Then on this wraparound attempt, Kamensky's got the arms up. It's a save. None better than this glove save right here. Quick reaction, doing the splits on that wicked drive by Joe Sakic. There was a lot of traffic in front as well, and give the Red Wing defenseman a lot of credit too, because those pucks that were loose, even though Vernon was down there covering them up, there was some good protection down low, a forward collapsing, and also 2 defensemen right in front of him. 14th year in the National Hockey League, Mike Vernon. 11th time he has competed in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, has the Stanley Cup ring to his credit in Calgary in '89. Here comes Fedorov. With more ice to work with, let's see what he can do with it. Carries into the zone, looking to bust all the way through. The Fave got a big piece of it. Fedorov turns around with a slash and got away with it. Now the puck recovered by Kamensky. Fedorov steps into him. Lefebvre will wrap it back around the boards. It comes to Sakic now. Sakic and Kamensky against Fedorov and Kozlov. Should make for some dandy action. And here's a steal by Fedorov. Hits Kozlov with a pass up the middle. But look at Aaron Miller get back for the Avalanche and make the defensive play. And it comes to Kamensky again. Kamensky, top of the circle, fakes the shot. He'll wait for some help. Still has it on the stick. Now trying to throw it in front. Intercepted by Larionov. Kucherov steps into him. Larionov took the stick of Kucherov right out of his hands. And the play continues back down into the Colorado zone. But a big defensive play by Sakic to tie up Brendan Shanahan. As the penalty to LaPointe and Foot come to an end. The teams are back at 5 skaters aside. Avalanche with it now. Cross-ice pass comes to Foot. A shot and a save by Vernon. Oh, what great confidence Mike Vernon is showing, challenging the shooters. And back the other way. Here is LaPointe. Sets it up now. Larionov tried to move it across for Shanahan, who had cut into the clear. LaPointe chops it away from the Colorado puck carrier. That was Forsberg that lost his stick on the play. Here is Larionov. LaPointe back to Larionov. He'll wait for the late man coming. Konstantinov on a backhander. Didn't get there. Larionov fakes a shot now. Didn't have got to shoot that.
Didn't have a clear lane. He didn't think. Here is Shanahan. He'll take a look. Now he tries to dump it toward the Colorado goal. The Avalanche come up with it. Eric Lacroix lost it though, and now a diving play by Lacroix prevented Larionov from getting there. Konstantinov, a giveaway here. Vernon is down, but he is able to keep the puck out of there, and it is swept all the way down the ice. And what have we got? The net off behind Mike Vernon. A quick whistle there as Mike Vernon. Outstanding.
What action. What great end-to-end action. And one turnover at one end results in a good chance by Forsberg trying to get by. He doesn't get good wood on this shot, and Vernon takes the short side. Konstantinov just fired it over the glass. A much-needed whistle, but Adam Foote had a break as well. He was quietly sneaking down the left side and let it fly. The neat thing about the save was he didn't even hold it and juggle it and show the stance. He just basically played it down and let the play go. Now the key for the Detroit Red Wings as we let this roll here is while the Avalanche have control, you see you got 2 guys back into 2-on-2. Then we got a 1-on-1 right there. But the Avalanche are reluctant right now to make a play. So stop it here again, and you've got Nicholas Lidstrom, and he also forces the play up high, creating a lot of turnovers, and the Avalanche won't dump that puck in.
They may have to change their thinking on that, the way the Wings have battled things up defensively. Kamensky looked like he was shaken up as he had the puck knocked away by Nicholas Lidstrom. Now Now the puck at center ice hit the official. It is picked up now. Aaron Miller slides it across, and it was just deflected as Claude Lemieux wanted to set up a one-timer. Now Vernon able to move it in traffic to Nicholas Lidstrom up the right wing side. McCarty got there quickly to clear it. And this will be an icing call. The touch-up by John Clem. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue here on ESPN Thursday night. More of this Western Conference Final. Game 4 right here from the Joe Louis Arena. The Avalanche and the Red Wings Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, right here on National Hockey Night.
And the 2 days off between games will certainly help the Colorado Avalanche. They have not used the depth like the Detroit Red Wings have. So certainly guys like Forsberg, who's playing nearly 30 minutes a game, and Joe Sakic playing 25 minutes a game. Much needed rest. See the shots on goal. Now the Avalanche 16-11 in this hockey game. So finally, they're getting some sustained pressure. And again, we reiterate, a lot of those shots have come on the first 3 power plays of the game that really allowed Colorado to have some momentum in the first period.
And of course, a big part of that depth taken away with the injuries to Krupp and Jones and Yell. Draw controlled by the Avalanche out to Gusarov. Goes over to the right point. Foot sets it up nicely for Giroux. Quick shot. He didn't miss the top corner by much. Trying to go glove side on Vernon. Now here's Ricci with it. Vernon swept at it with the stick. And the stick came out of his hands. A penalty coming here. And this is going to be an interesting call as Vernon lost the stick out of his hand.
He's going to get it. There's going to be it looks like a cross-check before that.
Yep.
I thought when Kerry Fraser's arm went up, he was going to call it on Mike Vernon for that sweeping check behind the net. But it was called before that Mike Vernon sequence on Bob Rouse. And what happened was I had seen the shaft of the stick on the ice, and the broken shaft of Bob Rouse, he must have got somebody and got him good because it was broken at the handle. You know, about 8 inches up, and that's pretty tough to break it from there. Although from that angle there, that's on Yves Giroux, and that's the broken stick that Giroux was slapping his stick looking for the pass from Mike Ricci. Ricci then went behind the net, and there was the sweep check, and that very well could have been called a trip right there. Vernon's looking to poke the puck first with a left-hand shot, and Ricci going on the wraparound. A lot of the goaltenders now are making one quick sweep. Billy Smith did that probably better than any goaltender in the history of the league, that sweeping poke check move. And Ricci was upended on a trip by Vernon.
And so the Avalanche, power play number 4. It comes now to Sakic. Quick shot save made by Vernon as he took that 5-hole away quickly. And Vernon looked around as Peter Forsberg got in there quickly.
Last year when Joe Sakic won the Conn Smythe Trophy, he used a tapered shaft and a wooden blade inserted into that. This year the blades came back a little thicker during the course of the year. And so what he has used now is a a composite graphite molded blade. And it's a little different than the wood, but he likes that because the wooden ones were just too thick. But he's missed the net on a lot of occasions, and he's had the mark so far in this game anyway. He's had 4 shots on goal, all of them real good chances.
He is poised back at the top of the circle, but Yzerman spoils that, and going hard into the boards down in the corner was Nicholas Lidstrom, and there's going to be a penalty on the play. And it's going to be Valerie Kamensky, I believe, that toppled down on top of Nicholas Lidstrom.
Boy, Lidstrom has been a horse, and he has been the last couple of years here in Detroit, certainly. After Yzerman won the faceoff now, Lidstrom is facing the boards. It actually wasn't a severe nudge. By the time he hit him, his arms were already extended. It wasn't like he hit him first and his arms weren't extended, and then he pushes them off and they are extended. He nudged the back, but it was the position of Lidstrom going in to the boards first. He was kind of on his toes, a little off balance, and everybody knows how potentially that can be a dangerous situation. But Nicholas Lidstrom played nearly 30 minutes in Game 2, the most of any player on the ice for the Detroit Red Wings. But again, Claude Lemieux, a big-time battle in front of the net. Konstantinov and Lemieux trying to get the edge on one another. And the key when they're tied up like that is you don't know which player's holding which guy's stick. They're so knotted up like that. Lemieux was irate after Game 2 at the non-call that ends up in a power play goal for the Detroit Red Wings. Fedorov's goal. and he really let that be known following the game, berating the official, Don Koharski.
The Kamensky penalty comes just 8 seconds into the Rouse penalty, so 4 skaters aside for nearly a full 2 minutes. Once again, Fetisov, Konstantinov, Kozlov, and Fedorov out there for Scotty Bowman. A collision between Konstantinov and Corbet. Fedorov slides it ahead for Fetisov. He'll get there. Puck was in close to his feet. He couldn't shoot it. Fetisov still has it. Now lobs it back out for Konstantinov. His sweep shot is deflected over the glass behind Waugh and out of play. So the puck in the stand stops the play here with 8:54 remaining in the second period. Slava Kozlov still with the only goal early in the first.
The name of that hockey stick is Bush. They cost about $150 each, and the Red Wings have a large amount of them on their bench. It's a resin transfer molding made of aerospace long fibers. It took 3 years of research and development in Switzerland. We've seen 2 already in this period. Konstantinov's and Bob Rouse's stick just snapped right at the shaft.
Shanahan got the stick of Claude Lemieux accidentally up under the chin. Here's a steal by Shanahan. A shot. Wow, out to challenge. Made a big save there to keep it at 1-0 Detroit. Keep in mind, each team has a player in the penalty box. Rouse for Detroit. Kamensky for Colorado. Here is Konstantinov. Makes a move. Had it knocked away. And it's chipped out along the boards by Sakic. Fetisov pinched up and he missed it. And that's a 2-line pass. He's got a bit of a break there. As it looked like they might pay for that pinch by Slava Fetisov.
What a save by Patrick Waugh on Brendan Shanahan. One of the few times in this game that Shanahan has had open ice to take a shot one-on-one with the history's most wins in postseason competition. Patrick Waugh. Shanahan, of course, a right-hand shot, quickly releases that snapshot. Last 8 games, 9 points for Brendan Shanahan. A turnover again, though, costly. We talked about the keys of the game for the Colorado Avalanche, and turnovers was one of those keys that could have been a costly one for Mark Crawford's hockey club.
Well, the faceoff just inside the Colorado zone. The Avalanche control. This is Foote. Front of his own net, handing it off now to Gusarov, who will give it back to Adam Foote. Skaters aside for another 45 seconds. This is going to be an icing call against the Avalanche. Well, let's take a look at the Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary. Colorado, their loss in Game 2 broke an 11-game home ice playoff winning streak that went back to the conference finals last year against Detroit. Carson, Philadelphia pulled in Game 2 against the Rangers, allowing 5 goals on only 10 shots. And the winner of Game 2 in this playoff season has gone on to win 11 of the 12 series.
Well, it had to be disappointing for Mark Crawford's club on home ice, especially in Game 2. You can look at it either way you want. Patrick Waugh saved their bacon in Game 1 and they won. But for Scotty Bowman's club, Colorado led 2-0 in Game 2. And even though Scotty's club was just firing on all 12 cylinders, both games you have to marvel at the fact that the Red Wings, didn't get frustrated after the loss in Game 1. They kept going at Colorado. And they made the adjustments, and now Colorado has to make the adjustments here in Game 3 to break a 1-0 lead for the Detroit Red Wings.
Lidstrom drops it back. Larry Murphy gives it back to Nicholas Lidstrom. About a half a minute left in this 4-on-4. The Red Wings will get a brief power play. Adam Foote strong on the boards against Draper, who was not going to go anywhere one-on-one. Now the Wings with a steal. It comes out. Lidstrom, long one-timer. Patrick Waugh had a good look at that and able to hang on and get the whistle for a face-off in the Colorado zone. Thursday at 3:30 Eastern, ESPN takes you to the Brickyard in Indianapolis for Carburation Day, the last time the crews can get their cars on the track to get the final setup before the race. You'll see those crews in the pit stop competition. Then Sunday, ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500. See 35 of the world's best drivers race at over 200 miles an hour around the 2.5-mile oval. That's Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern on ABC. Face-off here in the Avalanche zone, controlled by Colorado. Aaron Miller slides it ahead now for Mike Keane, former captain of the Montreal Canadiens, who was part of the Patrick Waugh deal. Now Lidstrom slides it to Larry Murphy, now to Doug Brown. Bob Rouse getting set to come out. Red Wings will have a power play for about 8 seconds. Good defensive play by Lemieux. He knew that Doug Brown was over on the far side.
Boy, great skating by Lemieux. Yeah, you're right. He never stopped. He didn't glide once. He hustled all the way back to break up what looked like it would have been an odd man situation.
Flip by Kozlov. Fedorov will chase it down. Runs into Aaron Miller, centering pass by Doug Brown off the netting to the left of Patrick Roy. Avalanche come out with it. Long pass, though, knocked away by Fetisov. He is tied up. It's kicked ahead. The Avalanche with a chance here. Cross ice. Corbe coming in. And Vernon stops it. Mike Vernon on Rene Corbe. As the Avalanche try to keep the pressure on. Yves Saroux and Fetisov. The centering pass does not get through. It is picked up by Konstantinov. He reverses his field to try to settle things down. Fetisov now to center ice. Kozlov was waiting for it, but it's deflected away by Gusarov out of play. And the crowd coming to their feet here at the Joe Louis Arena for Mike Vernon. And can you believe there was ever any goaltending controversy heading into the playoffs as far as who would start for Detroit?
Well, they've got two wonderful goaltenders, but Mike Vernon really took it himself. An odd man break. Konstantinov really makes the wrong move there. He went quickly towards the passer, and that left Corbe all alone. Vernon's got to go to his right, but now he puts on the brakes real quick. That's the key there. The edges, the skate of Mike Vernon just stopping on a dime and stopping Corbe then on the left side of his body, and Corbe was frustrated. He broke his stick. I think Vernon's trying to hold him up right here. Yeah, you see he's getting his stick in the way a little bit, trying to keep Corbe out of the play before Vladimir Konstantinov could come in there as well. So a good battle in front of the net. But that odd man break, usually what happens on a 2-on-1 is the goalie's yelling out, and you see the odd man rushes now, 3 for Colorado, only 1 for Detroit, but the goalie's yelling out, I got the shooter, I got the shooter. So the goalie's out of the crease. The defenseman usually stays in the middle. Konstantinov went over there rather quickly trying to break it up. And fortunately for the Red Wings, Corbe didn't score.
No wonder so many of you goaltenders become broadcasters. You're always talking during the game. Getting that good practice during the playing career. Larry Murphy slides it ahead into the Colorado zone. It's collected there by foot off the boards for Eric Lacroix. Sends it ahead now for Sakic. That was broken up. Recovered by Detroit inside their own zone. Lidstrom, left wing side for Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan dumps it across the Avalanche zone. Bouncing puck. Shot down by Larionov. He tried to put it out in front. So Sakic was there for the Avalanche. Wouldn't allow that to happen. Sakic trying to come with speed. This is something the Avalanche could not do much of at all in the first 2 games.
Tried to dump that one in, though. Sakic did try because the Detroit Red Wings had 4 guys lined up at the blue line. There was nowhere to go.
Shanahan and Forsberg come together. Now the puck is played right back in on Mike Vernon, who has it in the glove. Will he hang on? Yes, he does, and he gets the whistle. Well, we talked with Joe Sakic this morning and asked him about his club's play in the first 2 games in Denver.
Definitely know we're going to play a lot better, and I just think we're going to play smarter. We're stubborn in the first 2 games. We're turning the puck over way too many times at their blue line. You know, they're playing great defensively, and they're all coming back and standing up on the blue line. So we have to make sure we get it in deep and use our forecheck. We got a lot of speed, and we're at our best when we forecheck well. So we just have to make sure we do that.
Colorado Avalanche weren't fooling themselves. They knew darn well they did not play well in games 1 and 2. Now the shots are coming, though. 18 shots for the Avs and 13 for the Detroit Red Wings. Joe Sakic himself has had 4 shots in this game.
After having 0 in game 2.
He had a great chance, but he just kind of pushed that one. Man, you can see the whip on the super slow-mo of the shaft of his stick, and it went wide on the stick side in game 2.
Yzerman wins the draw cleanly from Forsberg as Konstantinov moves it up the right side. Draper slides it ahead for Yzerman. Yzerman against Ozolinsh. Cuts to the middle. Yzerman on the backhand. Sweeps it wide of Patrick Roy. Won't be taken to the ice as he went to the net looking for a penalty. Back the other way, Forsberg. Forsberg lost it, gets it back. Forsberg snaps the shot. Seen by Vernon. He made the stop. Loose puck in the crease. Covered by Vernon, and the whistle blows. As a couple of the Avalanche kept going at the puck after the whistle, and of course that's always going to draw a reaction from the team defending their goal.
You saw there quickly for a moment the back pad of Claude Lemieux, and that's why he's able to stand in front of the net and take the cross checks like he takes. If anybody has played box lacrosse, or you have a kidney pad and a back pad, and that's what a lot of these players are using, similar to that. But the traffic in front is stopped, but the puck was loose. You can't blame the Avalanche players. You got to dig down in there deep. I mean, if that puck, if there's any question mark whatsoever, you got to go at that. After Vernon made that high blocker save now, The clearing attempt was failed by the Red Wings, and Kamensky is all alone there. And boy, if he is able to settle that puck down, he would have had a better chance. See the headlocks happen, and then guys just grab onto one another. And it's all because everybody's looking at the little black puck in front of the goaltender. And that's where the scrums begin. Claude Lemieux, of course, he's always a target, but he's so hard to hit. And he's given 3, and he's taken 3.
6'1", 215 pounds, 31-year-old Claude Lemieux. Playing in the playoffs for the 12th time, and you talk about a money player. A Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens, a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils, and a Stanley Cup, of course, with Colorado last year. And it looks like out of all that scrum that took place around the Detroit net, that Joe Kocur is getting the lone penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. We've seen a couple of those in this game now. Kocur comes in, hits Lemieux. Kocur comes in now, and he grabs Forsberg. But Joe Kocur's only doing his job right there. There's 2 Avalanche players on one, so he goes in and he just grabs the back of the shoulder. I'm not sure if reputation has anything to do with that call. But Kocur, for his part, is just going in there and doing his job, trying to even things out if he can. Interesting to see the assistant coach of the Detroit Red Wings, Dave Lewis, trying to get the referee, Kerry Fraser, to speed things up. The Avalanche are really making slow line changes. And we talked about the depth factor before, that they're using, well, basically 9 forwards.
Well, it's Mark Crawford that we saw doing that a lot in the first round against Chicago.
You're right, because Chicago was trying to buy time.
Here comes Ozolinsh with it, looking cross ice, nothing there. Ozolinsh drops it back out in front. Sakic whips the shot. That was blocked by Yzerman. Sakic again, score! Joe Sakic through a crowd on the power play has tied this game at 1 apiece.
Good pressure in front, and Joe Sakic, he got 1 crack at it, and Yzerman blocked the first shot. This is being reviewed. Ozolinsh makes a nice move. Look at the 2 Red Wing players. They're down on the ice, trying to stop the pass across. This leaves a wide open Joe Sakic. The first shot block, excellent by Yzerman. He goes down, and he blocks it, but the rebound comes right back to him. What they're going to be looking at is Mike Ricci in front of the goaltender. From that look, and Adam Deadmarsh, from that look, I don't believe anyone was right there in the crease. Ricci is close. Puck's not being shot yet. Puck now should be shot at. No, there's no doubt. That's a goal. No doubt whatsoever. That goal by Joe Sakic, and the Colorado Avalanche now have tied this game up at 1. Their first power play goal of the game, his 6th goal of the playoffs. And it comes with just over 5 minutes remaining here in this second period. It'll be interesting to see how the Red Wings react to this, the adversity that's being thrown to them. I'm sure they weren't happy about the call by the official, the unsportsmanlike call on Joe Kocur. But again, it was reiterated between periods, the composure and not allowing the Avalanche any more opportunities on the power play.
Now, Scotty Bowman obviously not happy with the turn of events. 5 power plays for the Avalanche, and they finally cash in. They came into this game 27% in the playoffs. They are now 1 for 5 in this game. As Darren pointed out, 6 of these playoffs. 31st of his career for Joe Sakic, last year's Conn Smythe Trophy winner and leading scorer in the playoffs. Larionov hands it off now for Nicholas Lidstrom to Brendan Shanahan. He hands it back to Larionov, one-on-one, gets the shot away, fired it just wide of Patrick Waugh. Here is the point behind the net. Larionov has it there, looking out in front. Henry pass did not get through, and now Forsberg muscles it out of trouble. Kamensky got the other assist along with Ozolinsh on the goal by Sakic. Here is Shanahan, cross ice, he has a man open, Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom takes the high shot on the short side. Waugh just held his ground, made the stop. Here is Shanahan with it. Whips it behind the Colorado goal, it comes to the point. He backhands it, it ends up over the glass and out of play. He's been at it a long time behind the bench, but Scotty Bowman still feels the passion. His club has just seen their 1-0 lead evaporate. We're tied at 1 late in the second. National Hockey Night is in the Motor City for Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the Detroit Red Wings and Colorado Avalanche. The Wings were able to earn a split of the first 2 games in Denver, and now the Avalanche will try to do at least the same in Detroit. Now, due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action.
Interesting what happened in Game 2 in Denver. I know the fellas, Gary and Bill, had talked a little bit about this. But a friend of Barry Smith, the assistant coach of the Detroit Red Wings, constructed about a 5.5-foot removable bench because it was too difficult in Colorado. They had 4 separate chairs, so the line changes, and they were worried about the skates because there was metal on the bottom of those separate chairs. So every time the guys were trying to change, they obviously push off on the metal, and the edges of their blades were concerned. Well, they took that bench with them. They didn't want it removed, certainly, and if they have, when they go back for Game 5, they'll bring that bench back with them there.
Here's Kaminsky trying to use some of that speed against Konstantinov, and the puck rolled to the left of the net. Vernon decides to cover it up.
John Wharton, the athletic therapist of the Detroit Red Wings, was seen taking that bench off the ice. There's a good look at John. And it was his job to take that homemade bench off the ice as he's leaving the periods. And there it is, taking it off. Get that thing off there. And they brought it on Redbird 1. And it didn't even get a separate area. It was right in the middle. It had a middle seat. That 5.5-foot constructed board that they will bring back to Denver.
Imagine some of the guys use that for the card game.
There's no question.
Fit a few more guys in there with the bench. Bring it right along.
They're all comfy, side by each. The visiting bench here in Detroit, 2 of my yards, it appeared to be when I measured it off, it's 2 yards shorter than the home bench is. Those are my yards, though, Dave. Keep that in mind.
Puck goes back into the Detroit zone now as we wind down to the final minute of the second period. Red Wings have the only goal in the first. The Avalanche with the only goal here in the second period. 1-1 our score. Here is Lidstrom dropping it back. Konstantinov up the middle for Fedorov. Fedorov hands it off now. Yzerman puts on the brakes. Clint to the breeze. Knocked it away. Getting the stick in the way of that puck. As it comes out now to the left point, Lidstrom fakes the shot. He got Keane down. Now tried to shoot it. It hit Keane on the backside. Penalty coming against the Avalanche. With 33.7 seconds remaining here in the second period, a slashing call indicated by Kerry Frazier. So the Red Wings will have the man advantage.
And there's a slash deep inside the Colorado zone. See the indication by the referee, Kerry Frazier, and it's going to be, I believe it's the defenseman, Eric Messier, who has been paired mostly with Sandis Ozolinsh. Although a lot of times in defensive situations, Ozolinsh stays on the bench. They'll have another defenseman out, and then they'll make a quick line change to get Ozolinsh out, but it's a slash on Messier. And so now late here in this period, a power play for the Detroit Red Wings. Avalanche have scored once on the power play. Only 33 seconds remaining, so the Red Wings will have the advantage of coming in at the beginning of the third period.